Hello, crafty friends. It's Jessica here, and welcome back to Jessie Kate Creates. In today's video, I have a fun little project share for you guys. So on this day, I wanted to create a card, but I didn't have a lot of time in my craft room, but I wanted to get in at least a little bit of crafting. So I decided the best way to do that was to focus on using elements I already had made in my craft room. So for a starting point, I decided to use some alcohol ink backgrounds I had already made. And I just kind of wanted to show them to you guys here real quick before you see the finished cards. So I keep all of my backgrounds in a bin, and I keep my alcohol ink art separated in just this little plastic sleeve you see here. So I just went through this and looked through until I found a piece that I like. I have a ton of backgrounds here from previous projects, but I decided to go with this black and gold piece. Years ago, I made a special card / decor project for my sister, and this was a piece that I had left over from that project. And I decided it was finally time to put it to good use. Additionally, I made her a slimline card, so I made a really big background. And I think this background is going to be big enough that I can make 2 cards from it, which would be really nice because this piece is about 11 inches by 4 inches, so it should be just about perfect for me to get 2 different A2 cards from it. So now that you guys kind of know what the plan is, let's jump into the cards. So here are the 2 cards that I ended up making. We'll start with this one first. So for this one, for both of them, I kept them fairly simple. For each one, I went ahead and cut down the alcohol ink paper and matted it on some gold cardstock. And I did pop that up on my card base, so there is a little bit of dimension there. Now for this card, I did want to make one graduation card. So I took an embossing folder from my stash. It's this one here from Doris. I got this at a thrift shop, so I'm not sure the name of the folder, but it just has these fun little graduation hats on them. And this is just a 2D folder. So I ran the panel through that folder, and I loved that little extra detail it added. And then to finish off the front of this card, I just added the sentiment, "Congrats." This is die cut out, and I did stack it. It's 2 layers of 100-pound cardstock, and then the same gold cardstock that I used for the mat, I used for the top layer as well. This die, it's just one that was in my stash. It's from an old Love Nicole die set that I picked up at AC Moore. So very, very old. This was back when I first started crafting around 2015 or 2016. So a very old set, but this is why it's great to have die sets with just a lot of basic classic sentiments, because you'll always be able to use them. So that's what that sentiment is from. And I love the way this card came out. It's very simple, very understated, but I think still very classy. Now for the inside of the card, I did just go ahead and stamp a simple sentiment that says, "You did it, the best is yet to come." That is from a mini stamp set from the Greetery. I don't know if they still have this. When I picked it up, it was on clearance, and that was probably 2 or 3 years ago. So it might be out, but it just has a bunch of small little sentiments. And I just paired up 2 together to read, "You did it, the best is yet to come." And I was really happy with how that turned out. I did have some little leftover scraps of the alcohol ink paper when I cut it down to size, so I just added that to the bottom of the card. And yeah, just a nice, classy and classic graduation card. Now for the second card, I went with a sympathy card, mainly because when I was looking through my stash, I really was just trying to make these cards quickly because I did not have a lot of crafting time on this day. And I had this vellum sentiment ready to go. I found it in my stash and I thought, perfect, we'll use that to make a card. So once again, I did take the alcohol ink background and run it through an embossing folder. The embossing folder for this was another one that I had thrifted, and I promise you, before I started recording, I pulled out all the supplies I used, and I can't find that folder to show it to you. It's disappeared into the black hole of my desk, which probably means as soon as I finish editing this video, it will magically appear, just right here in the middle of my desk, like it never disappeared. So if I have a photo of it, I will put it up here, but really any embossing folder you have in your stash would work. I just liked the look of this one, so that's why I used it. Once again, I matted it on some gold cardstock, and I did go ahead and pop that up onto one layer of foam tape so you can see there is just a little bit of dimension there. Now for the vellum sentiment, this is from an old Stampin' Up! Stamp set. It is this Heal Your Heart stamp set. Once again, this is one that I thrifted. I was not trying to have a theme for this video, but apparently it's using supplies that I thrifted because most of this stuff was thrifted. But I just love this sentiment so much. I've used it for other sympathy cards. I just think it's really beautiful. Like the font is beautiful, but also the message itself, wishing I could heal your heart. Gorgeous. So I went ahead and used this. Like I said, it had already been made and it was just an extra. But I really like the way that looked, and because it was gold, it kind of tied into the gold that was on the alcohol ink I had made. Now to add just a little something to this, to step it up just a little bit, I did take some gold thread and just put it on either side of the vellum, and I just like the simple classy touch that adds to this card. For that, I used this gold thread from DMC. That's the number on it. Focus. That's the number on it. And if I can find this, I will link it in the description box down below. If I can find links for the stuff I used, I will link it below. But like I said, most of this stuff is thrifted. I'm pretty sure most of it has retired at this point. So the thread I can probably figure out a link for, and the cardstock I used I can probably find a link for. Everything else I highly doubt it, but we'll see. Now for the inside of this card, I did put in a sentiment: wishing you peace to bring comfort, the courage to face the days ahead, and loving memories to hold forever in your heart. I love that sentiment, and sometimes I put sentiments inside my cards, sometimes I leave them blank. But for sympathy cards, I usually put a sentiment on the inside because I know sometimes those are moments when it's really hard to find the right words. So I tend to put sentiments on the inside of my sympathy cards. And this particular sentiment is from the scrapbook.com Heartfelt Sympathies stamp set. I have a few of their sympathy stamp sets, and I really enjoy them. They're really good sentiments. So that's where that's from. I probably can find a link for that, so it'll be in the description box. And once again, I had a scrap of the alcohol ink paper I had made, so I just added that to the bottom, and that finished off the card. So these are the two cards that I made using that one background from my stash and a bunch of thrifted supplies, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this video encourages you to go use some pre-made supplies that you might have floating around your desk or in your stash. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and give it a thumbs up. That helps me so much with the YouTube algorithm. It helps people to find my channel and join the crafty community here. And if you want to see all the videos I put out, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you can get notified when I post new videos. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye!